So have you ever started a weight loss journey completely motivated and then after 8 to 12 weeks, it just completely stops? You're eating better, you're moving more, your clothes fit, people are noticing, you feel better physically, and somehow it's hard to stay consistent. So today I want to explain why that happens, why it's actually normal, and also what you can actually do about it. See, most people don't start weight loss journeys because they're inspired. They start it because they're uncomfortable. They have pain. They're disgusted, right? They're disgusted with their body. You feel, gross with how your clothes fit. You're exhausted all the time. You hate seeing pictures of yourself, so when you go on vacations, you're like, get that away from me, right? You don't feel confident around your spouse or work. That level of frustration creates urgency, and urgency is very powerful, but it's also very temporary. You're essentially trying to run away from pain. And I think that's important, right? Again, it's not inspired. You're running away from pain. And when you're running away from pain, you'll do anything. You'll tighten up your diet, cut out snacks, track your food, hit all your workouts, because the alternative is going to be worse. You don't want to sit in that pain. But here's when things change. After you've lost some weight, that pain goes away, right? Your energy improves. You're not disgusted anymore. Your clothes fit better, you're stronger, you're sleeping better. People are actually complimenting you, and you don't feel desperate anymore. And once you start feeling that and your discomfort starts to fade, the urgency starts to fade with it. And I think that's really important that people miss. That initial fire wasn't discipline, it was just discomfort. So now you're in this weird middle zone where you're happier, but you still haven't quite hit your goals yet. And that's where people really start to slip up. The problem is that most people only set fat loss goals. I need to lose 50 pounds, or I want to lose 20 more pounds. And the problem is that fat loss goals don't keep you going once you start feeling better, right? This is because fat loss goals have a finish line. They rely on urgency, and it's usually a short period of time. They're externally driven, not internally driven. And those goals don't change as you go, right? Say, I want to lose 30 pounds. Once you're down 15, you still want to lose that same amount of weight. You see what I'm saying? And when your motivation is, I want to lose weight, but your body and mind already feel better, your brain doesn't buy into it anymore. So it's not that you're just lazy. You just don't have a reason that emotionally matters to you anymore. The significance is not there. And when that happens, you grab extra snacks, you're doing less tracking, you might miss more of your workouts, right? And on the weekends, maybe you're having extra food, and you start to tell yourself, one day doesn't matter, I'm just gonna make up for it on Monday, right? You're gonna start over. And it's not that you're intentionally sabotaging yourself, it's just that you don't have that same internal pressure that you had at the start from that feeling of disgust and being uncomfortable, right? And if you don't address this, you're just going to keep regaining everything back again. And that's the biggest problem we see is that 80 to 90% of people gain all their weight back, right? So instead of trying to push from the same motivator that got you started, you need a new why for that second half of the journey. And this could be like, I want to age better. I want to be strong and mobile in my 50s. I want to feel athletic again. I want to avoid having heart issues. Maybe your cholesterol's creeping up, right? I want to keep up with my kids or grandkids. So these are all things that are going to carry you through much longer than just fat loss. These goals aren't fueled by disgust. Instead, they're fueled by identity and values. And that's the biggest difference here. They're who you want to be. Weight loss is not who you want to be. It's all the things that come with it. And they don't have a finish line like weight loss does. But sometimes you might just need to take a pause from weight loss for a little while. You're not quitting. You're not going to gain weight. You just need a pause. A short diet break at maintenance calories can give you mental space, and it can calm the urgency, and it lets you think clearly. This way, you can reassess your goals, figure out a new why, and rebuild the reason why you're doing this in the first place. Because until then, if it's only just weight loss, you're going to keep regaining the weight. Now, once you rebuild your why, the next step is setting better goals, right? Like I said, goals that actually last. And that's what I'm going to cover in part 2 of this video series, why fat loss can't be your only goal and how to shift into long-term health goals that keep you consistent. So if you want to stop yo-yo dieting, you want to stop regaining the weight and actually finish your journey, watch part 2 next. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you in part 2. Take care.